Hi everybody, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the DVRS systems that we have in our apparatus and how it can help you on the scene if you're having trouble communication with your radio. First, briefly, without getting very technical, I'm going to teach you basically how our radio system works here in the city. So, well, you have your portable radio and you push the talk and you transmit. The signal from your radio is going to go to one of the towers here in Worcester. You can see my beautiful artwork. The Millstone Tower, which is up near Worcester Volk, the tower at the airport, and then the tower at Ballard Mac down on Route 20. So when you use your radio to try and transmit, it's going to hit one of those towers first. Then it's going to be rebroadcast to all the other radios in the city from those towers. Now, if you're in a situation where you're at a scene in a basement of a building, in an elevator shaft, in an elevator, or in a large warehouse, and you can't transmit out, you're not going to be able to hit these towers. So what we have is invested in a number of repeaters that you can find in some of our apparatus, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Well, how do you know if you're transmitting out? If you push the talk and you hear the chirp, that means that you've successfully transmitted out. So you wouldn't need to use a receiver. When you come into troubles is when you're in a basement or a large warehouse and you try and transmit out and you get this noise. That means you can't transmit out. Another thing the radio will do, I'm sure it's hard to see, but if you're not even transmitting, you walk into a basement and the signal doesn't work, you'll get an orange screen for about 10 seconds. It'll say out RNG, which means out of range. And you'll also get this alarm once every 5 or 6 seconds or so. That'll tell you that you're not able to communicate. At that point, you have to make one of two decisions. Either you have to go back outside or near a window, just like if your cell phone was losing coverage, or you're gonna have to switch over to use a DVRS if they're on the scene. So where do we find the DVRS? A DVRS stands for Digital Vehicle Repeater System. It's basically a repeater that's mobile mounted in our apparatus. We have a repeater in every ladder truck that's on the front line. We have a repeater in our reserve ladder truck that's down at McEwen Road, and we have repeaters in car 3 and car 4. So if any of these units are on the scene or close to the scene, you will be able to use our Fireground option to connect to that talk group. The repeaters work on Ops Alpha, Ops Bravo, and Ops Delta, and only those 3 channels. So the scenario is you get dispatched to an incident, you're on Fire Ops B Bravo, and you're going to the south end of downtown. You enter into the basement, you get that low tone, now you know you can't communicate out. Because you're possibly from South Division, you know you've got ladder 3, car 4 right on your back. They both have DVRSs that are automatically activated whenever they go onto Fire Op B, for example. So you're in the basement, you hear that tone or you can't transmit out. On your own, without asking anybody's permission or coming out, all you have to do is take your radio and turn it to Ops B Fireground. I'll turn the volume up here. The first thing you're going to do is turn your knob all the way clockwise. That's up to 16.
FD Direct.
That's called FD Direct. And now as we back up, it's somewhat of a mirror image of how the numbers work on the radio. So you go A, B, C, D on the front end of the radio. On the back end of the radio, we're just going to go through the Fireground channels. So the first one is
Ops Alpha Fireground.
Ops Alpha Fireground. Click back another one, and you'll be on Ops Bravo Fireground.
Ops Bravo Fireground.
Right now we have the DVRS set up in ladder 4. I'm going to use Delta as an example.
Ops Delta Fireground. Zone. Ops Charlie.
Okay, so we have this radio set up on Ops Delta, just like you would use it normally.
Ops Delta.
And we have this one set up on the repeater. So when I transmit, it's going to leave here. Instead of trying to go to a tower, it's going to go to ladder 4, then it's going to go to the tower, and then it's going to get rebroadcast. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that's how you activate using Fireground. fire ground into your DVRS. Some things to remember is a DVRS unit has to be on scene or near the scene, and it has to be turned on to the same talk group you're using. You're going to need to switch your radio from operations, say B Bravo, to all the way around to the other side to operations B Bravo fire ground, two separate channels. I highly suggest you guys train with this. Probably not on A and B, but you can use Ops D to train with. I suggest you call fire alarm first, just let them know you're training with it. You have to make sure you obviously have a ladder truck of the chief with you so you can go off of their repeater. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. If you see me in the stations, send me an email, give me a call on the phone. I can get more technical into this explanation, but I hope that helps you learn how this works.